Hello, everyone. It's Angelo. Today I'm going to talk about fake news. So, throughout history, journalism has been considered as the main source of knowledge. Everyone's perception of worldwide events is established by the way they are portrayed in the news. And because of this, the whole of society defines what is important and what is to be left behind based on what they see on TV. Now, this is changing. We're living in a digital era, and this era gives journalists more autonomy and more accessibility also. So there's more journalists, and this makes it also a very competitive job. So the idea is that to be a journalist, it's to be in a community and to have some tools that enable material distribution of news, to have a public ethic, and also to have independence from authority. And before digital journalism was born, surely there was less independence from authority, but fact checking, for example, was more present in the production process. There were more people working on it. Now everyone can write an article and everyone can write fake news. As we can see from this graph right here, the journalism industry has been going through a massive fall in advertising revenue, and online news media have to find new strategies as they depend more on readers than on advertisers. They have to base their news content and news coverage on revenue and on what the viewers will think of it. This explains why fake news and clickbait headlines are increasingly used by journalists to gather readers. So, for example, I found this random article from an unknown publisher, and apparently, this website is also Google verified, and it's ridiculous. Here, it just says, for example, it says, let's stereotype males and females together in the workplace to see what motivates each gender. And then goes on to divide women and men and start saying women are more driven by emotion, men need to feel in control. Like, obviously, this is not driven by any research, and it's not academic at all. In fact, fake news is really a big issue, and we should ask ourselves, why is it so common for news journalists to try to profit on these irrelevant facts and stories? For example, it can also happen that certain private life activities, daily life activities of celebrities, for example, or events are portrayed in news. Like, how can we protect our privacy in the 21st century? Like, that is my question. In this article, I'm pretty sure there is no reliable sources, and it is not the best choice to make when looking for articles about anything, really. These are almost like yellow journals that are only made to attract readers with these appealing headlines. And honestly, I understand why they're looking for audiences, since it is the only way to make money, but still we have to be careful. And now we have some hope. In the digital era, gathering, producing, and distributing news is easier than ever. Everyone can do it. Everyone can publish articles or posts on social media, on websites, and these are journalists that can frame stories in any desired way. We are all journalists, and the stories can be also fake. And there is constant gossip and reproduction of news stories. It's almost impossible. It seems like audiences have no agency over what to believe or not, since everyone can spread misinformation. No, however, we should take a more social technical perspective. We can actually change technology. Society can change technology. We're not stuck in this. There is a possibility that we can influence the impact of these new technologies and risk less. But we as audiences can only really choose the news properly, and it's pretty hard. We have to, for example, there's pay to read news outlets. Usually they're official outlets that were physical first. Before internet, there were like physical newspapers, for example, of The Guardian, and now it is a free, I think, website. But when there is a pay to read news outlet, it's better to choose that rather than the free ones, since these websites are much more based on a system of workers that help them do fact checking and also to provide better news in general. That's the only thing that the audiences can do to change the situation and really to adapt, because we cannot do anything about this. We can just choose which news are real and which are not, which outlets we have to use usually. And that's it.